Riker's Iron presents.
Welcome back aboard, ladies and gentlemen, for Riker's Minicrate Adventures, Volume 7, featuring the Totem Huntress and VIP figure, Mrs.Walls. The Totem Huntress and VIP Mrs.Walls kicks off Season 2 of Privateer Press's Minicrate subscription service. The Totem Huntress is the one that everybody will get, and the VIPs will, if they took the VIP subscription, will get the Mrs.Walls figure. Both of these models look beautiful from their concept. I cannot wait to open this, and I think that this will be probably our favorite Minicrate to date. So let's dive in, take a look at what's inside, and we're going to go through our usual reviews, skipping the box itself. Nothing's changed on the box in Season 2. So if you're curious about how the box rates and what kind of things you might be able to use it for, you can check out our previous videos in Season 1. With that said, let's jump into this Minicrate adventure and see how Mrs. Walls, the VIP figure, and the Totem Huntress stack up. So ladies and gentlemen, as we mentioned, we won't be rating the packaging itself. We've already done that many times over. Nothing's changed with the packaging in this Minicrate. So let's jump into the contents and make sure everything's there. What we're expecting in this Minicrate is our VIP figure, so our Mrs. Walls. All the parts, all the pieces for that, including her collector card. We're also expecting the Totem Huntress. She should also be in here. Again, all the pieces and her collector's card. There might also be a coupon or something. Usually the season 1 kicked off with a coupon. I'm wondering if Season 2 will as well. Let's crack this crate open and see what's inside. I'm gonna initially just cut the seal here so you guys can kind of see that we are doing it right now. But I'm gonna cover it up because we have had coupons in the past, and editing that part out is a little tedious. So I am gonna just cut this seal open here. So there it is. The seal has been broken. So I'm just gonna pop it open. Make sure there's no. Okay, perfect. There's no. There is no. There's no coupon in there. So this is what you're gonna get inside your VIP thing. I was expecting the thing to hold it in place, the little cardboard piece. I guess maybe to save on packaging, they've stopped doing that. That's something new. So you'll get obviously your Minicrate, and it looks like we'll get our Totem Huntress and Mrs. Walls. Let's make sure all the pieces are here. Just gonna take them all out, line them up, and we'll see what's inside this Minicrate. I'll bring it up and show you guys here. So it looks like the Totem Huntress is a mix of resin and metal, and Mrs. Walls is all one piece. It's pretty impressive. So here are the two models that you get in your VIP package. You have the Totem Huntress, which is everybody will get. It's a mix of resin and metal. And Mrs. Walls. Mrs. Walls herself. She looks great. She looks very detailed. Very, very pleased with that. And you'll also get, as expected, your two collector's cards with the art on it. So we have our Totem Huntress here, looking pretty badass. I'm very, very excited to paint this. We'll be painting this one up very shortly, probably after lock and load. That's going to be our next Minicrate adventure for us. Same with Mrs. Walls. Look at that. I actually might stick Mrs. Walls to her color scheme. She looks great in that teal and black and red. So Mrs. Walls collector card. Let's see what the backs have on here. So Mrs. Walls, VIP number 2, 2018. Better to face murderous pirates than to turn your back on Quartermaster Mrs. Walls. She who gives no quarter and whose monkeys take no prisoner. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. Totem Huntress, pretty simple. Open season on you begins now, which I dig. I love the Kingdom of Zoo stuff, and I'm really hoping that that's an announcement at Lock and Load regarding Kingdom of Zoo. And that's where these Totem Huntresses and Hunters are from. Really, really nice concept art. Loving this. Loving the poses too. Very aggressive and saucy at the same time. Dig it. So that's the contents of the box. What do I think of the contents of the box? Contents of the box is all there. It was a little weird not to have that cardboard insert that you would normally have to hold the mini in place so it's not jangling around. With that in mind, I'm going to give it a score of great. So with the content rated, let's actually rate the miniature quality. What we're looking for in the miniature quality is we're looking for any sort of bad mold lines, any squished details, things that are lost in molding, anything that injection ports and stuff being in poor places and all that jazz, and just the overall detail of the mini itself. That's what we're looking for. So let's kick it off with the Totem Huntress, since that's going to be the primary one that everyone gets. So these are the parts as we've shown you before. It looks like both of her arms are metal, which is good. I hate when they have a mixed resin arm and a metal arm. When you go to paint it, it looks weird. You can definitely tell the detail between the two, but this one has a matching left and right arm in metal. You also have the little I don't know what it's called, loincloth piece here in metal. That's kind of a nice little thing, because if it had been here, it probably would have absorbed the legs a bit and been a weird injection area. So you can get some nice detail going along the legs with especially with these big muscly legs like Chun-Li style. It's definitely appreciated that is a separate piece, and it looks like it's going to fit in right. There's like a nice little slot right in there that you can fit the loincloth in. So let's take a peek at each individual piece, looking for anything wrong with it. The loincloth itself has no mold lines. It has no nothing on it. It looks really, really great. It looks like it was really cleanly cut and molded. Looks like it was injected right there, cut away very clean. So no details lost here. This is the arm that holds the pharaoh head, which look at that. We can actually see, oh, sorry about that. You can actually see the hair and the spike going through the hair. That is a nice detail. Loving this. There is a little bit of a mold line down around the side that leads up just around the base of the neck here. Even it's got some bones. Very, very nice little thing. This part here looks like it's the injection part, unless it's a spike so you can put it in. I think it's actually the shape of the arm. Yeah, sorry, it's not an actual thing. It's going to take a little bit of cutting away to mold properly, I think. It might take a little bit of green stuff to fill that gap in here. It doesn't really fit properly, but overall the detail's great. You can see all the fingers, all the scales. You can see all the scales here, which is perfect. And the face on the pharaoh is really, really nice. It has a lot of detail. Again, looks like they did it right. Even despite that mold line going across here, it's very light and easily removed. Nothing to write home about negatively, anyways. The spiky arm with the staff. Let's take a peek here. Spiky arm with the staff. Great detail. It's even got little like almost worn scales, or maybe some sort of like rusting, like it's been underwater on here. It looks really, really nice. The fingers are all there. You can distinguish them from the wraps of the spear. There is the usual bad mold line right down the center of the shaft. It takes a long time to get rid of those, so it's nothing new or unusual with anything staff related. Piece was extremely bent there. I just corrected it. Overall, I think that this little weapon piece is going to be extremely fun to paint. Looking forward to painting this. No details lost here, and nothing really bad about it. So let's take a look at the Totem Huntress herself. This mighty Huntress. This model is absolutely great. I mean, there is some issues which we'll address in a second, but just the detail on it itself. This is going to be a fun piece to paint, and I'm looking forward to this immensely. Especially especially just the scales and the muscles on here are going to be really, really fun to paint up. There are some things to note. Really bad injection port right here on the side of the Mini. This is going to create a real problem when you go to remove it. You're going to have to sand it down and maybe add a little bit of green stuff to reshape her muscle here. I hate when they do that, especially in a predominant piece like this. To be fair, it is a lesser of evils. It's a lot easier to have this here than it would be to put it on like scales and have to resculpt scales. So of all the places, it's probably the least damaging. It also down here at the loincloth area, the back loincloth, there is an injection thing here. Again, not so bad. It's in a flat area. You can cut it away and shave it off, and it shouldn't be a problem. But bad mold lines, there is none. There is absolutely nothing else to fix on this model. There's going to be a little bit of annoyance and repair to do, but that's pretty typical with any resin kit. When it comes to piecing the metal and the resin pieces together, gonna have to green stuff some stuff and maybe be creative and add something of our own little spice to the model. Overall, really, really nice. I love the detail on this. I'll give my final rating at the end once we take a look at Mrs.Walls. So the VIP model here is Mrs.Walls. It's all one piece. We're just gonna jump right into this one. Take a little spin and then we'll do some comment on this. So I'm really enjoying just looking at the model. There's a lot of stuff to look at. So Mrs.Walls doesn't really have any bad mold lines or anything to remove. Detail-wise, there's a little bit lost in the monkey. It's very squished in with her feather, and his face is kind of hard to make out. It's going to be a little a real annoyance to paint that guy. Everything else, though, from what I can initially see, just looks very nice and crisp. There are some mold lines down the shafts of the pistols, which kind of follow the little undersling area, the little metal part of the pistol, or sorry, the wooden part of the pistol, pretty cleanly. So don't really have to worry too much about that. Her face and hands, something that usually gets lost with these metal minis, is actually nicely detailed. You can see on there, you can make out her eye patch, her eyeballs, well, her eyeball, sorry. All the little pistols on her, her corset top here. You can make out everything, even her hair strand and the little skull holding up her feather. Looks really clean. Very excited about this one. Very excited about this Minicrate in general. So, what do I think about these two miniatures? So let's take a little moment here about the Totem Huntress. Totem Huntress, great mini. I like that they cleanly split the metal and the resin pieces to be matching. As we mentioned before, I don't like mixed art, like one arm being resin, one arm being metal. You can tell when you go to paint it, and it's also a pain to prevent chipping. With them both there, yes, there's still the chipping thing, but the details aren't lost. They look great next to each other. There is going to be a little bit of repair work to do on the Totem Huntress, which I'm not really looking forward to, especially when it's on the muscle and the leg. It looks already really detailed there on the other side, and losing that and having to reshape it and possibly sculpt a little patch over there will be a little bit of a pain, especially for newer people to the hobby. If you guys did manage to get a hold of this or are looking to get future mini crates, overall I would give her a great. Mrs.Walls, again, great mini, a lot of detail on it, very clean. There is some detail lost on the monkey's face and the monkey's body moving into her feather area. Again, really great model. I love the poses. I love everything. I love her pistols. All the detail is there. Her face is very detailed. Her hands are detailed. I'm gonna give her a perfect rating. I can't really find too much that's going to be a pain, and even with the monkey face kind of lost a bit, I think it's still going to be a great display piece and a great tabletop piece for anybody's collection. So what did I think of Season 2 of Privateer Press's Minicrate? Their kickoff of Season 2 is absolutely an amazing addition to their model line. These models particularly are probably the best ones that we have seen to date. With that said, they do still suffer from some injection port issues, as with most of their resin stuff. I know that they make their resin stuff in-house, and they try to find the better parts to put it. This is definitely one of the lesser of evil injection port issues, and really, it's not really that big of a deal. It's in a clean spot, you can remove it and all that stuff. It's just, again, as I mentioned before, some people newer to the hobby might not be used to it, and it might turn them off. The VIP model compared to the base model, absolutely, like they're such different models thematically, but they are just as good as each other. If anything, like I actually feel sad that some people will not be able to get Mrs.Walls. She's just a really cool model, and we're into pirates and everything, so maybe I'm a little bit skewed in that sense. So with that said, this Minicrate definitely set the bar very high, and that leads us into our next section. How would we rate the Minicrate Adventures thus far? Right now, we currently have the Swamp Siren, Ashes to Ashland, and the Feral Geist set up as our current ranking champions, so our top three. I am actually going to bump. That's right, folks. I'm actually going to be bumping some people around. Top spot, I am actually going to give it to the Totem Huntress. I absolutely love this model. I love the pose. I love the head in the hands, like with the hook coming through the hair. It's just a nice little detail in that. I'm going to give that top spot. Second spot, I'm still going to give it to the Swamp Siren. It is a great alternate piece to swamp horror. I really like it. The pose is also great, and definitely stacks up with this current release. And oddly enough, it was also the kickoff of Season 1 of Minicrate, so their initial kickoffs are something to definitely tell your friends about when they start off that new thing. So far, the trend is the first one is top notch, and then I'm gonna bump everybody else out and drop Mrs.Walls in there. Mrs.Walls is awesome. I love the figure. I love the detail on it. I love the pose, the little monkey with the gun. It's just a great mini, and I definitely feel like it deserves that third spot to push everybody else out. So, folks, thank you for tuning in and checking out Riker's Minicrate Adventures Volume 7, the kickoff of Season 2 of Privateer Press's Minicrate subscription service. We'll be back next month with another review and unboxing of this. And if you want to catch our second part to these adventures, it's live on Twitch, so you can catch us painting these minis. You can find us at twitch.tv/RikersIron.